What's good, y'all? This is Courtney. We are back again. Doom Patrol Season 1, Episode 7. And this is titled, hold up. Wait a minute, y'all. I've been laughing my ass. Therapy Patrol. We read, shit, did I fuck up a nail? After a violent outburst from Cliff, the team engages some self-led group therapy, leading to some growth within the group as they knit closer together. Let's hear y'all. This whole... As y'all done heard me say before about Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is the best goddamn motherfucking superhero show out there now. Now, some folks might say, well, that DC gave, or, you know, some people might think a Marvel show. But what the Marvel show they got beside Masters, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and, you know, the other show that was on Netflix. I ain't even talking about that. Doom Patrol is his own brand of what the fuckery. And it plays it so fucking well. You hear me? So this episode, we get flashbacks from each member, right? And go back and forth. And basically, the common thread in this episode is Cliff. Cliff is going through the motions. Cliff is motherfucking... he's malfunctioning. Right? But when you see toward the end how, and when it gets to the whole group therapy thing, y'all, I've been laughing so goddamn hard. This show is fucking stupid, but it's beautiful. Here we go. Let's start with the first one. Now, you know, motherfuckers, you know, them up in here, they still reeling about what happened. You know, especially Jane. You know, about what happened in the last episode, right? So this episode starts off with Cliff. You know, Cliff like, listen, we all gotta find the chief, but to find the chief, we gotta go through Mr. Nobody. You know, we gotta get our shit together and woo. I have come to realize in this show, because you know, when it's an ensemble cast, you know, you always got that one character that's the heart of the show. The heart of the show is Cliff. The heart of the show is Cliff. That's it. I know some people might think it's Jane. No, to me, the heart of the show is Cliff. So we go back in the time. Like I said, we're doing flashbacks. So the first flashback is Rita. Rita done won. Okay, there's Rita and her two parents. This was basically, we see Rita meeting her darn idol. This movie starlet, a bitch, and basically Rita acts like her in her older years when she be coming in the movies and all that stuff. Now, as we see, at first, I kind of picked out at first that, you know, the blonde-haired girl was Rita and all that stuff, but we don't know Rita's true name. Now, when the little girl was going to tell her her name, the mother said, what's your stage name? So she gives her stage name, which is Rita Farr. And, you know, Rita looking at this movie starlet with hearts and bright lights in her eyes. You know, she's meeting her idol. And so when we go back, we go to the present. As we all know, Rita and her issue with her darn, you know, keeping her body together. So you're gonna see through this episode, Vic, he going through everybody, basically knocking on everybody's door, talking about, listen, team meeting in 15, right? And so Rita's in the bed, you know, she be a blob or whatever, and she said, I am Rita, the baddest in me, whoop-de-whoop. It takes her a minute to get her shit together, right? But when she comes out of the room, she got this big old, look like she got gout in her throat. And so she comes out, she walks, and she walked past this grate with this grate on the floor, and bruh, Rita, baby girl, listen, this is body horror. Some of that shit is ridiculous. So Rita melts through the grate on the floor and ends up in the basement in this tunnel that's underneath the mansion. And you know, she hollering for everybody, is anybody here? Can anybody help a bitch? And so she's basically going through her own shit, like, how many times I gotta go through this bullshit? How many times I have to make to suffer? How many times I have to deal with my damn insecurities and shortcomings and all this stuff? And you see her, she look like she's in the furnace. You see her head, but you see the rest of her body ain't nothing but goop-de-goop. It's disgusting. So she making her arm, the person, you know, this glob is me, and you see her arm. The person with 2 arms is me. Woo-woo. She keep going. Then when she calls out of the furnace thing, she look like a mermaid, but a mermaid that probably got herpes or some shit. You know what I'm saying? They got herpes. Excuse me, y'all. And so she going through the motion. So basically with her, at the majority of this episode, she can't get her shit together, can't get her body together. And she really comes to the fact that, you know, she keeps seeing things with babies. And like I said some episodes before, I think she had a baby and gave it away. So she basically come to terms with her shit. But she said, you know, I deserve all of this. You know, I ain't shit. And so she has to come to terms with her own shortcomings. And so she comes out. She has a robe on. She looks good. She done finally got back together. But y'all, that didn't last long. And it's back to the drawing board. She melts again, y'all. And it's just over and over and over. Now, throughout these segments and everything, the president, you're gonna hear Cliff talking about, you think that gonna hurt me? And it's like, it's chaos, it's war going on. So the second flashback we get is Larry. And we show, 1930 something, Larry is a kid, and his parents in there, and little Larry decided he was gonna play doctor with some boy. And the principal called him. Now, the father said, that woman ain't gonna call my son no queer. And the mama ain't giving a shit. She just worried about her image. Worried about the family's image, how folks gonna take that. We gonna have to, she said, we gonna have to move out of town, do all this shit. But the whole thing with, listen, I'm an 80s baby. I don't know what a person, has to keep their real truth to themselves back in those times. You know what I'm saying? And I know it was probably hell. You got to put up a facade. The community's viewpoint of you, they probably think you a creature, heathen, demon, you finna go to hell. And a whole lot of motherfuckers tend to equate homosexuality with being a fucking pedophile and all kind of fuck shit. So it's just like people who are of the community who do keeps that under wrap, they live in 2 lives. And I know there gotta be some kind of form of draining. So when Vic goes to Larry's room, he's talking to, his negative spirit. And he said, listen here, bro, how about we just sleep in? But he like, but listen, don't give me no crazy ass nightmares and everything. Can we just chill? And so here we go. The spirit goes out of him, and basically the dream that Larry keeps going through is the dream of him and what was his boyfriend name? Bowens. Cutie Pie. We're gonna call the boyfriend Cutie Pie. And that was before, you know, the whole tragic airplane accident or whatever. And so he going back there, and each time he goes back in that dream, something is different. It ain't like how it was. And so he keep going back, and I'm trying to think, is the boyfriend the physical? Well, not really physical. Is that the spirit talking to the boyfriend? I mean, is that the spirit talking to Larry? You know, so we go through this episode again, the scenario again, 3 times until Larry just goes and motherfucking admit his truth. He just admits his fucking truth. You know, and then so the illusion of his boyfriend, like, you don't know how long I have waited for you to admit that. You know what I'm saying? You know what folks do. Tell the truth, shame the devil, or whatever. And so that's that with Larry. And you know, that they were like with Larry, like he said, you know, basically his spiel, and it was like I said, you know, all the shit he been through and try to lead 2 different lives, it was draining. And, you know, I'm quite sure folks who just couldn't deal with it, Lord have mercy. I wonder what was the suicidal rate back then. Or didn't they even have surveys on it? Not really surveys, or did they even research that back then? I was just wondering. But still, that means you had to come out, you know, to come out of the closet. I know that was like a death sentence back then. So, child. So we go to the flashback of Vic. When he's a little kid and his mama. Listen, who did the casting for baby Vic? Cause he got the mannerism as Vic. He even holds his mouth when he talks like Vic. Y'all did that good. Y'all did a good job with that. So Vic gets up. And, you know, the daddy done gone. You know, the daddy went deuce. They say, you know, Vic don't really trust his father right now. And so he gets up, you know, do his daily routine. Try to do a meeting with the team. He goes jogging, lifting up statues. You know, that's weights and stuff. And then there's this app called Cash. Is that like Tinder? Or eHarmony or some shit? Come to find out, he had all these emails, these notifications, and, you know, he asking Grid, like, how the hell I'm getting out of this? And his dad had muted some of the applications, basically to keep his mind focused. Because, you know, his dad was like a coach, a football coach. Like, listen, I'm going to push you through the limit so you could be in the NFL and all that shit. That's just basically how his father thought of him. So he going through the motion of talking to like all these different bitches and stuff like that. And the thing about, they wasn't even studying about Vic. It was all about Cyborg. Oh my God, you Cyborg, woo 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 woo, and all that stuff. And he got tired of it. And he basically told, you know, Grid to, you know, delete the app and all. And so, but here's the strange thing with it. Now, before he told him to delete the app, right, homeboy was looking at live video feeds and all that stuff. And he was like, Grid, how am I getting these live video feeds? What's going on? And it was just basically like he was stalking this girl. And you know, Vic was like, I didn't ask for all of this. And Grid said, no, you ain't asked for it, but you desired it. Now I'm like, uh-oh. Now, Vic, you're going to have to put some boundaries with this motherfucker. You're going to have to do some boundaries and shit. So, that was that with that. Okay, so, listen. one of the bitches was talking about, say booyah. And I was just like, are you gonna say booyah? You gonna say booyah? You know, I was hoping him to say booyah, but you know, that didn't happen. And maybe he'll say booyah when he goes to team, you know, go to the Titans and shit. All right. We go to Jane. Now, Jane, she drawing a picture of the chief. And she got written in, she doing a paint of the chief, written in white paint. She got bastard. And she basically punching through the, you know, through the fucking painting. And we can tell she is over the chief. She is over the chief. Now, here's my thing with her flashback, if I remember right. She's a little baby. She's in a bed. And she's crying. And this man comes. And he's looking at her. And he got this, you know, you can tell he got some evil intent. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so, you the daddy, huh? So you know, and you know, the baby crying. The baby is terrified of this dude. Because, you know, babies know, kids know. You know what I'm saying? So, Jane, in this episode, she's really, her control or whatever with her different personality is wearing thin. So, she's battling with them, right? Got to the point, got so bad that when she went down in the basement part where all them videotapes is, I think she destroyed all them videotapes. And, child, poor Cliff. Cliff is tragic. He's a tragic character. Cliff is going through it. You know, Cliff was already slipping from the last episode when he basically saw that a Bump was taking care of his daughter. That his daughter Clara was calling Bump daddy. So, you see Cliff. Cliff is trying to eat a piece of toast. That's not working. Cliff saying, I'm hungry. I can't eat. I would like to remember how it is to chew a piece of dry ass damn toast. And you just basically see his grip on reality is slipping. You know what I'm saying? So he spazzes. I mean, he goes off the fucking deep end, yeah. And in his mind, he done basically told everybody go kiss his ass. He's tearing up shit in the manor. He gets on the bus, and hightails it to where a Bump is at. And he busts in the door, and he basically fighting Bump. And Bump has a gun, right? And shoots him. But come to find out, it is a mirage. Now let's go to Cliff's flashback. 1961, South Florida. Cliff was raised in an abusive household. His daddy wasn't shit. His daddy wasn't shit. And his daddy, you know, his daddy was basically saying, like, I don't know what happened with us, but I'm going to be better. And if I'm right, those the same words Cliff told his wife on the phone after he won that race. You know, after he got through fucking the nanny. I'm quite sure those are the same words that his dad told his wife. So, what happens is Cliff sucking his heads are malfunctioning. And what he doing is he think he fighting Bump. But for real though, he fighting Cyborg and all that shit. So Cyborg, we the clothesline on him or whatever. And him and Larry basically have to hold him down because he is raging. And you can see him short-circuiting. You can see him being jumpy and all that stuff. And you could just hear how he feels inside. And you know, all that, and it is sad, y'all. It is real sad. You basically hear he's a tortured ass man that can't feel shit, locked in a metal body, and on his last piece of existence is his daughter that he ain't gonna never fucking see again. And it's just sad, and you can just see it just wearing down on homeboy, right? And it got too so bad that when he breaks down, right, he basically gets into like this fetal position where he hold his knees together and he rocking back and forth. And that hurted me. That hurted me, y'all. I was like, no, Cliff. No, man. So, you know, he's like, basically, like, all I want to do is cry. What is wrong with me? My brain is screaming for release. I am so angry. And just think, he can't find no release. He doesn't have a human body, y'all. It's sad. So, out of all of this, you know, Cliff basically said, we're going to have us a group meet. Rita shows up. She in the wheelchair. And Cliff is asking her what the fuck is going on with her legs. You can tell now this is the funny shit, y'all. That whole group thing. And it mainly deals with Cliff. And this just goes, you just have to give props to Brendan Fraser and his acting. He's underrated, and he shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? So, the fire, what happened? Okay, hold on. Let me see. So, everybody goes, you know, do his thing, and they basically tell what's going on. Rita, okay, we're gonna go, let's see, who we're gonna go to first. Alright, let's see, we're gonna go to Cliff first. Listen, I just watched this one time, y'all. So, y'all gonna have to forgive me if I miss some shit. I'm trying to play catch up. Was Rita the first one? So, you know, clearly, like, we need therapy, we need to do this, whatever. And Rita said, I'd rather eat hot cold to do therapy. And basically, clearly, like, therapy. So we go to Rita. Rita basically said, you know, she has this great shame. And, you know, basically she has to own up to her bullshit. And while she's talking it through, her legs come back together. So I was like, yay, Rita. And we get to Larry. Now, listen, before Larry even got to say something, you know, I wanted to talk about, you know, how and Cliff jump up, gay. You gay. You are gay. He said, you know, you love and respect it and accept it. And he jumps up and hug him. And I just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, Cliff, what is you? Shut up. And you know, Larry says his piece. And we get the Cyborg. Cyborg said, I killed my mama. And everybody like, whoop. I said, oh Lord. He basically says what happened. But he also said what I said some episodes ago about how he don't trust his father. It's something going on. You know what I'm saying? And so get to Jane. Jane really ain't got shit to say. Cause, you know, Jane, she goes through her shit. And, you know, she saying, I'm supposed to be the crazy one and all y'all motherfuckers got issues. And so, Cliff like, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. And, you know, Jane's like, I can't take you seriously with all this tough little paternal shit. And Cliff, like, I'm reading it off the screen. Like, Cliff was like, is there anybody up in your goddamn ass that is nice enough so I can talk to them? And, you know, Jane is like, why? You won't listen any motherfucking way. And she basically says, what she say? That you ain't, you know, you ain't a man, you're a terrible father, and all that stuff like that. You know? And Cliff basically says this. Cliff said, I only like 1/64th of you. Bad. Ooh. He said, I'm the only one here who can stand you. And I only like 1/64th of you, bitch. And I was like, ooh. And I said, well, if that was a fucking killer note right there, bruh, even Jane couldn't say nothing. That broke her heart. And I like, well, Jane, bitch, stop being bitchy. Stop being fucking bitchy. You know? So they run behind him. Cliff run behind. And you remember, Cliff is seeing shit. Now, he thinking he's seeing his daughter, right? But, you know, Jane living. You know, Jane is leaving. But here we go. Cliff start spazzing. And he's twitching and everything. He turn around. He's seeing everybody as bump. And so they basically had to subdue his ass. And he, you know, or whatever. And y'all, tell me what came out this nigga mouth was a goddamn rat. I'm talking about Cliff. A fucking rat. And I just looked at it. And I was like, what? And we get a little backstory on the rat. Admiral Whiskers. 6 episodes ago, Admiral Whiskers was just a little old baby rat. Learning the lay of the land with his mama. His mama said, this is your chance, you just follow me. And she ran in front of the bus. And I think the bus was driven by Cliff. And there go Mr. Nobody, basically talking to little baby Admiral Whiskers, and basically said that, you know, you want to get your revenge? You want to get your revenge? Do you want to get your revenge? So the rat got his revenge, y'all. And I'm quite sure when that rat came out of Cliff's mouth, what's the rat hunching on Cliff's chin? Is that what it was? Child, bye. Listen, it was certain parts. Listen, I was just laughing my fucking ass off. And you think like this whole episode is like serious or whatever. And then here comes the fuck shit, the craziness. There's only what Doom Patrol, Lord Jesus, Doom Patrol can only provide and get away with. If this was any other damn superhero show, this would not fucking work. You hear me? A damn rat spy. A rat foot soldier for Mr. Nobody, y'all. Y'all, I'm so over this shit. I fucking love this show, y'all. This shit is so fucking stupid. But listen, y'all, that's it, y'all. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments down below, and whoop-de-whoop. Bye, y'all.